Hey guys, it's Jen, and I just wanted to show you some new products in my shop. I had such a great response to the print and cut files that I did that I decided to make some more. So the first ones are called All Grown Up, and there is a blue and green version and kind of a pink and orangish version, and I've just called them All Grown Up Boy and All Grown Up Girl. Of course, you could use them for either gender, and my daughter has a lot of blue and stuff like that, but I just wanted to show you kind of what they look like. So there are 4 phrases. There is one that says All Grown Up, and they're a little bit different. You can see they're a little bit different from each one is just slightly different. This one's a little bit smaller, but that's just the way it happened when I was creating them. So one that says All Grown Up. This one says Still My Baby, and you can see that some of them, like this one has a little less blue in it, and this one has a little less orange in it than that one, so that I tried to create a little bit of variance throughout the different pieces. And if you watched my last video where I showed you the cut files, the Sweetheart cut files, or I think they're called Lovely Script, I showed you how you can change the color of them. If you want to go back to that video for a tutorial, you can change the shading on these as well, but I have already pre-colored them, and you could also change them to black if that's something that you would prefer. Then I have Independent. So the whole idea behind these cut files were kind of like a kid who's growing up, or I guess it could even be a teenager or something like that. My daughter just turned 10, so these work really great for her. So there's Independent, and then That Face. And with That Face, I was kind of thinking about, I just brought an example here of, I have a lot of photos where my daughter is pulling faces, either because she doesn't want me to take a photo or because she just has that silly look on her face. So that was kind of the idea behind the words That Face that you could use. And I also wanted to show you, so these I have print out on some watercolor paper. They're watercolor phrases, and so I just really like the way that they look when they're printed on watercolor paper. Let me just see. There we go, a little bit better. I just think they look really cool on watercolor paper, and they're nice and thick, and I just do a double cut on my silhouette. Again, you can watch the last video if you want to learn how to do that. But I wanted to show you that you can use different materials too. So for these particular cut files, I also printed them on some patterned paper. So this is just some blue patterned paper. It's a really, let me just show you what it looks like. This is an old paper I had in my stash, and if I can get it to pick up on, there's just a subtle kind of linen type texture on this paper, so it's a really subtle print, but the blue looks really great underneath the blue and green cut files. And I just wanted to kind of quickly show you how that might look on a piece of patterned paper if you were going to do that. So for example, this matches it a little bit, so that you could do the blue. I also printed the pink on the blue too. I don't like it as well on this. You can play around with different pattern papers, but I think it looks really cool on top of this paper. And these colors match this Maggie Holmes paper from Confetti really well. So just kind of wanted to show you that. I also printed them on like a yellow ombre paper that goes from light to dark. And so I printed the pink ones on the lighter half of the paper. You can kind of see those there. And then the green and blue ones were on the bottom half of the paper, so they're a lot darker. And again, I don't know if I really super love the way those look, but you could definitely play around with some different looks, and when you put it on some patterned paper, you can see kind of how that might look with that. Just a bit of a different look. So I just want to encourage you to play around. See, I really like the way that the blue looks with her blue dress and the green background. So those are fun to play with. And again, of course, just printing it on white cardstock would be fine, but on the watercolor paper, I just really like the way that looks. So those are the All Grown Up cut files. Again, there are 2 versions. So they look just kind of fun and pretty all piled up there. The other cut files that I created are called Blah Blah Blah. And they are kind of just some silly phrases that sometimes I feel like I need in my life. So we've got for real, what the, seriously, the truth, good grief, oh man, blah blah blah. Let me zoom out just a little bit so you can see that. There we go. The real deal, gah, and almost. So these are kind of like the, some of them are just, you know, blah 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 you could use for anything, but some of them are kind of for tougher situations or situations where you're kind of rolling your eyes or something, which I am finding a lot with, you know, kind of a tween in my house now. And so I thought these would be funny to use on layouts as well. And so I just wanted to show you 2 really quickly how they can look on a page. Just, you know, you can play around. Obviously I wouldn't put that over my mouth, but and they're just kind of fun to use. You can put them on patterned paper or whatever. You guys can scrapbook on your own and know how to use those, but they're just really fun. And I printed these in a couple of different versions as well, just to show you kind of some different looks that you can get. This one is really cool. These ones I printed on a wood grain paper that I got at Hobby Lobby. You can see it's a real wood. It's got like a plastic coating on the back of it, but it's printable, cuttable wood paper. And like I said, I got it at Hobby Lobby. I'll try to see if I can link to it below in the video description. I think I might like these a little bit more if the wood was a lighter color, but it's kind of fun to just see what they look like. Now you can notice between the 2 that it's not as crisp. So on the regular, this is watercolor paper, the ink tends to bleed just a little bit on the wood grain, and that's just the nature of the wood because it seeps into the crevices of the wood grain. But it's still kind of a fun look. So I just wanted to show you what those look like, that you can try those out. And I just cut it on my silhouette using the, I think I used the card or the chipboard setting that they have and did a double cut, and it cut great, perfectly fine. I also wanted to show you, I mentioned this on the last video, that you can cut them out with vellum as well. And I'm going to show you the vellum just on a piece of pattern paper, just so you can kind of see how you can see through it, you know, the transparency. We all know how vellum works, right? And they look really cool. I like how on the vellum, where the paint is a little bit more transparent, you can really, it really picks up on that in the vellum. So here's the same cut in the regular cut file and then on the vellum. So it's just kind of a cool look, and I really like the way that you get the varied look through the vellum. I think that the colored cut files would look really well in the vellum as well. I just didn't cut them out that way this time. But so there's some examples of how you can use these cut files, and I hope that you'll check them out. Again, this one's called Blah Blah Blah, and then the other 2 are called All Grown Up. And I will be adding more print and cut files to my shop soon, but wanted to show you these in the meantime. You can find these on my blog at CraftyJenSchow.com. Just click on shop, or you can go to CraftyJenSchow.ecwid, that's ECWID.com, to go directly to my shop. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you very soon.